Here are some key types of calls that you may get as a private investigator that you will want to pay special attention to. I need to find my ex to have her served with papers. This is a tough one to be sure. Many times these are legit, but sometimes they can be stalkers, harassers, creeps, or even worse. When I get calls like this, I first cover the basics. What type of papers do you have to serve? If I get an answer like, well, I don't have them yet, I need to have an address for the court to set the hearing, then I need to start questioning some things. This may be true, but usually the court will let you use the last known address. So I will usually tell them I need to take a look at the papers first to ensure I have a legitimate purpose to do a locate on someone. Now, usually when I say that, this is the last I hear from them if it's not legit. But what if they have legitimate papers? Well, my next question is, are there any restraining orders against you or any other party to the case? If the answer is yes, then I state I will need to work through their attorney to help locate the individual and ensure they are properly served. If they say no, I let them know I will check for restraining orders. If I find any, they forfeit their money and I will notify the authorities. Then I usually never hear from them again. If they go forward with my services, I do a background on my client to ensure that they're not just using me to get the address. If for any reason I feel suspicious with the person, I always just tell them I am happy to work with their attorney. Quite simply put, I don't care what you charge for a skip or a locate, if it's $150, $250, or $2,000. It isn't worth it to wake up the next morning and look on the news and find out the person that you did the skip or locate on was harmed or killed. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. I also get the calls where someone wants surveillance on a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I usually don't take on these types of cases. The customers tend to want a lot and pay a little, and they have very, very high expectations. My technique of saying no on these is unique. This is where I simply outprice myself. Absolutely, I can help you with that. Our infidelity investigations start with a $5,000 retainer. The conversation usually ends about as quickly as it began. Sometimes they'll say something like, well, I just need a few hours of surveillance. Then I simply state, I understand, but our policies do not allow for that. We start all infidelity cases with a $5,000 retainer. Policies are a hard thing for a client to argue. Other cases that you need to say no to are ones in where you may have a conflict of interest. If you are working one side of a legal matter and the party on the other side calls and wants to hire you to work for them, you must say no. You don't have to tell them why. You can just say that you're too busy and you're not taking new clients. If someone asks you to do something illegal or unethical, you must say no too. For me, this is usually a resounding no, I can't do that for you. I actually had this happen not too long ago where a client wanted me to go into a medical clinic and inquire if our subject of the investigation had made it to his medical appointment. This was wrong on so many levels. First, it violates HIPAA. The subject was also represented by legal counsel, so it violated laws regarding contact here in Colorado pertaining to a person who was represented. Third, I had already been in the clinic once to see if the subject was there. The receptionist already knows my face. In this particular case, not only did I tell the customer no, I had to fire that client. The most often reason that I say no to clients is due to pricing. I often get things like, I just need a few hours of surveillance. Or I called ABC Investigations and they only charge X dollars. Can you match that? This comes up frequently with my process serve business. The sheriff's office only charges $35. Can you do it for that? Folks, never compromise your pricing and always get paid up front 100%. When you compromise your pricing, you will usually find that those clients are the most difficult ones to please. You hold their hands and they tend to micromanage the case. And in the end, if you don't get what they wanted, they refuse to pay or demand a refund.